Okay, so question 7 says to solve the following simultaneous equations. So we have two different equations, and we are going to solve them by substituting one of the equations into the other one. So generally, as we've done in class, we're going to take the linear one, so that's the one without any squared values. We're going to rearrange it. Let's get y is equal to 4x plus 3, and then we'll sub that into the other equation. So x squared minus 4x plus 3 squared equals 0. So we will have 16x squared plus 24x plus 9 Similar to the last question, we're ending up with an equation which is all negative values. So we can multiply across by minus 1 just to give us a question that's a little bit nicer to look at. Okay, if we wanted to, we can also divide across by 3. Again, just making it ever so slightly easier for us to work with. We want two numbers that multiply to give us 15 and add to give us 8. Those two values are going to be 5 and 3. So the three values that were in the question, we factor out. And from this point on, it is just factorising. And you should get then that x is equal to minus 3 over 5 and x is equal to minus 1 as your two answers. For the next question, we do something similar again. Rearrange it. This time we will have 4y minus 13. And we sub that into our other equation, x squared plus 2y squared plus 6xy equals 29. We have to be careful at this point because we have to sub in this equation in two places because we have two values of x within the second equation. So we have to sub it in both places there. So here it's 4y minus 13 squared. So we are going to have 16y squared. 13 by 4 is 52. So we'll have plus 104, or sorry, minus 104y. And then 13 squared is 169. Plus 2y squared, which we had from our question, plus 24y. It's 24y squared, doing that one out quickly. Then 6 by 13 is 78, so 78y. And that's all equal to 29 still, as we had in the original question. So rearranging now just to tidy things up as best we can, we have the 16 plus the 24 plus the 2. That'll give us 42y squared. We can combine our y values, so we had 78 and 104, which gives us minus 182y. We have 169, and we can move the 29 over to the other side as well, or take it away from both sides, and we will end up with 140. And that's all equal to 0. Okay, at this point, we might like to reduce our question a little bit. So we can divide across by 7, and we get 6y squared. 182 also divides by 7 to give us 26, and 140 will divide by 7 to give us 20. So we can see here that our two factors are actually going to be the two values we have, 6 and 20. And again, we follow through the same as we've done now for countless other questions. Factorising, and then rearranging our answer. So our answer works out to be 20 over 6, which we can break down to 10 over 3, and y is equal to 1. And those are our two values for y. Okay. For both questions, we need to go back and identify what the value is for the other variable. So a good example here of not forgetting to do that. So for the first one here, we sub back in our values of x, and we will get that y for the first one, we take those two values, y is equal to 4 minus minus 3 over 5 plus 3. So that means that y is minus 12 over 5 plus 3, which is equal to 3 over 5. And similarly on the other side, y is equal to 4 by minus 1 plus 3, which is minus 4 plus 3, which is minus 1. So important to remember to go back and do those y values also. And here we have to go back and do the x values. So slightly different here. So we can do them up to the side here. We take the two values. We have x is 4y minus 13. So 4 by 10 over 3 minus 13, which is 40 over 3 minus 13, which will give us a value of 1 over 3. And on the other side, we have 4 by 1 minus 13, which is 4 minus 13, which is minus 9. So making sure you go back and do those values, and this is a good example of that.